Imagine standing in the middle of the Egyptian desert more than 4,500 years ago. There are no cranes, no steel machines, no computers. Yet rising above the endless sand is a structure so massive that even today, modern engineers struggle to explain how it was built. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a monument, it's a mystery. And the deeper scientists look, the stranger the story becomes. The pyramid was built for the Egyptian pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC, but what makes it extraordinary isn't just its age. For nearly 3,800 years, it was the tallest man-made structure on Earth. Imagine that. Structure built thousands of years before the Roman Empire, before modern mathematics, before electricity, and yet it dominated the skyline of the world for millennia. What really shocks historians is its precision. The pyramid contains around 2.3 million stone blocks. Each block weighs between 2 and 15 tons, and some granite blocks inside weigh over 70 tons. Yet these stones were cut and placed with such accuracy that even today, a credit card can barely fit between them. That level of precision is difficult even with modern tools. But here's where the mystery begins. Scientists discovered that the pyramid is almost perfectly aligned with the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The accuracy is astonishing. In fact, the Great Pyramid is aligned more precisely to true north than many modern buildings constructed with satellite technology. How did ancient Egyptians achieve this? They didn't have compasses, they didn't have GPS, and they certainly didn't have laser measurement tools. Yet somehow, they aligned the entire structure with the Earth itself. Another strange fact lies in the location of the pyramid. When researchers studied its position on Earth, they discovered that the Great Pyramid sits almost exactly at the center of the Earth's landmass. In other words, if you divide the continents of the world, the pyramid is astonishingly close to the geographical center. Coincidence? Maybe, but the mysteries keep piling up. Inside the pyramid are narrow shafts that were once thought to be ventilation passages. But when scientists studied them more closely, they noticed something fascinating. Some of these shafts point directly toward specific stars that were important in ancient Egyptian religion, especially stars in Orion's belt. To the Egyptians, Orion represented the god Osiris, ruler of the afterlife. This suggests the pyramid may not just be a tomb, it might be a cosmic gateway, designed to help the pharaoh's soul travel to the stars. And if that sounds mysterious, wait until you hear this. In recent years, scientists used Mune scanning technology, a technique similar to X-rays but designed for massive structures. When they scanned the Great Pyramid, they discovered something completely unexpected. A giant hidden void above the Grand Gallery. A huge chamber, hidden for thousands of years. No entrance, no explanation, and no one knows why it's there. Is it another secret room, a hidden burial chamber, or something we haven't even imagined yet? The truth is, the Great Pyramid still holds secrets that modern science hasn't solved. Part 2, next approximately 7 minutes. Now, here's the question that has puzzled historians, engineers, and scientists for centuries. How was the Great Pyramid actually built? The traditional explanation is that thousands of workers dragged massive stones up giant ramps made of mud and limestone. But when engineers studied this theory carefully, they discovered a major problem. To build a ramp tall enough to reach the top of the pyramid, the ramp itself would have needed to be longer and larger than the pyramid itself. That means ancient Egyptians would have had to build an even bigger structure just to build the pyramid and then dismantle it afterward. There's another mystery too. Many of the stones used inside the pyramid came from quarries located hundreds of miles away. Some of the granite blocks in the king's chamber were transported from Aswan, nearly 500 miles away. Each of those blocks weighs as much as a modern truck. So how did ancient workers move them across the desert without wheels or advanced machinery? Some researchers believe the Egyptians used sledges and poured water on the sand to reduce friction. Experiments have shown this might work, but it still doesn't fully explain the incredible precision with which the stones were placed. But perhaps the most mind-blowing mystery involves the mathematics of the pyramid. When scientists measured the pyramid's proportions, they discovered something astonishing. Here's a question that has puzzled historians, engineers, scientists for centuries. How was the Great Pyramid of Giza actually built? The traditional story says thousands of workers dragged massive stones up giant ramps made of mud and limestone. It sounds simple enough, but when engineers looked closer, they found a huge problem. To build a ramp high enough to reach the pyramid's peak, the ramp itself would have had to be even longer and larger than the pyramid. So, the Egyptians would have needed to build an even bigger structure just to build the pyramid, and then tear it all down afterward. It just doesn't add up. And that's not the only mystery. Many of the stones used inside the pyramid were quarried hundreds of miles away. The enormous granite blocks in the king's chamber came from Aswan, nearly 500 miles south. Each of those blocks weighs as much as a modern truck. How did ancient workers haul them across the desert without wheels or advanced machinery? Some researchers suggest they used sledges and poured water on the sand in front to reduce friction. Modern experiments show this could work, but it still doesn't fully explain the incredible precision. These stones were fitted together so perfectly you can't even slide a piece of paper between them. But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing: the mathematics encoded in the pyramid. When scientists measured its proportions, they found something astonishing. The ratio of the pyramid's perimeter to its height is almost exactly 2 times pi, the famous mathematical constant used to calculate circles. How did they know pi to such accuracy thousands of years before it was officially calculated? It gets weirder. The pyramid's dimensions, when scaled up, seem to reflect the distance from the Earth to the Sun. Was this all intentional, or just one of the biggest coincidences in history? We simply don't know. Then there's the mystery of the missing mummy. The Great Pyramid was supposedly built as the tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, yet, when archaeologists finally entered the king's chamber, they found it completely empty. No body, no treasures, and strangely no hieroglyphic inscriptions confirming Khufu was ever buried there. Compared to other lavishly decorated Egyptian tombs, the inside of the Great Pyramid is stark and barren. This emptiness raises a fascinating possibility. What if the pyramid wasn't a tomb at all? Some researchers believe it was a symbolic machine, designed to represent cosmic order and channel divine power. Others think it was a spiritual monument, meant to align the pharaoh with the stars and ensure his journey to the afterlife. And then there are the more controversial theories. Some people speculate that the builders used lost technologies or forms of knowledge that ancient civilizations possessed but have since vanished from history. While scientists don't endorse these more extreme ideas, they all agree on one thing: the Great Pyramid is far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. Even today, with our satellites, laser-guided tools, and modern engineering, recreating the Great Pyramid exactly as it was built would be a monumental challenge. This means the ancient Egyptians accomplished something truly extraordinary: a structure that has survived earthquakes, wars, and thousands of years of history. And despite centuries of study, we are still uncovering its secrets. Hidden behind millions of stones, there could still be undiscovered chambers, hidden passages, and artifacts waiting to rewrite everything we thought we knew about our past. Maybe one day, the Great Pyramid will finally reveal the truth. Until then, we're left to wonder, what did the ancient Egyptians know that we still don't? If you enjoyed exploring this ancient mystery with me, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Share it with a friend who loves history and uncovering ancient secrets. We dive into the world's greatest mysteries here, and trust me, the next one is even more unbelievable. Thanks for watching.